Imagine carrying around a telephone the size of a brick just to make a call on the go, or having a massive motorized satellite dish taking up your entire backyard. Here are 10 things that made you look rich in the 1980s. The Motorola Dynatac 8000X, affectionately known as the brick phone, was the ultimate symbol of wealth when it hit the market in 1983. Priced at a staggering $3,995, it was entirely out of reach for the average consumer. Weighing nearly 2 pounds and measuring over a foot long, this device was anything but subtle. Despite its massive size, it only offered about 30 minutes of talk time after a 10-hour charge. Wall Street executives and elite real estate developers proudly carried these clunky devices to show they were important enough to be reached anywhere. The Dynatac became a popular cultural icon, famously wielded by Gordon Gekko in the movie Wall Street, cementing its legacy as a quintessential 1980s luxury item. The C-band backyard satellite dish was a massive piece of technology that instantly signaled you had money to spare. Measuring up to 12 feet in diameter, these gigantic fiberglass bowls dominated suburban lawns across America in the mid-1980s. Installing one of these systems could easily cost upwards of $3,000, requiring a concrete foundation and complex wiring. For that hefty price tag, wealthy families gained access to dozens of unencrypted channels, including premium movie networks and live sports feeds. Motorized versions could physically rotate to track different satellites in orbit, adding to the high-tech spectacle. As cable television expanded and signals became scrambled later in the decade, these colossal yard ornaments slowly became obsolete, but they remain a legendary status symbol. The rear projection big screen television transformed the wealthy 1980s living room into a private cinematic experience. While most families gathered around a standard 20-inch tube TV, those with deep pockets upgraded to massive consoles featuring screens measuring 40 to 50 inches diagonally. These colossal entertainment centers often came encased in heavy wood-grain cabinetry that dominated the entire room. Pioneer and Mitsubishi were among the top brands, selling these behemoths for thousands of dollars. The picture quality wasn't perfectly sharp, and the viewing angle was incredibly narrow, meaning you had to sit directly in front of the screen. Despite these technical limitations, hosting a movie night with a rear projection television was the ultimate suburban flex. It was the absolute pinnacle of home entertainment before flat screens existed. The Laserdisc player was the premier home video format for 1980s movies enthusiasts who refused to settle for the grainy picture quality of VHS. Introduced to the mainstream market by Pioneer, these machines played massive, shiny platters that looked exactly like giant CDs. A high-end player could cost over $1,000, and the movies themselves were incredibly expensive. Because the disc could only hold about 30 to 60 minutes of video per side, viewers actually had to get up and flip the movie halfway through. However, the format offered superior resolution, pristine stereo sound, and special features like director commentaries. Only the most dedicated and affluent media collectors invested in Laserdisc, making a towering shelf of these silver platters a true mark of luxury. The Apple Macintosh computer revolutionized the way people interacted with technology when it was unveiled in 1984. Introduced with a famous Super Bowl commercial directed by Ridley Scott, the original Macintosh was priced at $2,495. It was one of the first commercially successful personal computers to feature a graphical user interface and a mouse, replacing complicated command line codes. Housed in a sleek, beige, all-in-one case with a built-in monochrome monitor, it looked like a piece of the furniture sitting on a desk. While IBM PCs were common in offices, having a Macintosh in your home signaled that your family was wealthy and modern. Its premium price tag ensured that it remained an exclusive status symbol for affluent households throughout the decade. The shoulder-mounted VHS camcorder allowed wealthy parents to document family vacations with equipment that looked meant for a local news broadcast. Before compact camcorders became common, these early video cameras were heavy pieces of machinery that rested entirely on the operator's shoulder. Brands like Panasonic and RCA sold these units for $1,500 to $2,000. Unlike earlier setups that required a separate video cassette recorder strapped to your waist, these all-in-one units recorded directly onto standard VHS tapes. Carrying one of these bulky cameras around a neighborhood barbecue was a grueling physical workout, but it immediately let everyone know that you had serious disposable income. Being able to pop the tape directly out of the camera and into your VCR was a technological marvel. The two-tone Rolex Datejust became the unofficial uniform accessory for 1980s corporate raiders and successful entrepreneurs. Crafted from a striking combination of stainless steel and 18-karat yellow gold, this timepiece perfectly captured the decade's obsession with visible, unapologetic wealth. The watch featured a distinctive fluted bezel and the iconic Jubilee bracelet, making it instantly recognizable from across a boardroom table. Retailing for a few $1,000s, it was an expensive but attainable milestone purchase for young urban professionals celebrating their first big bonus. It wasn't just a tool for telling time. It was a wearable resume that communicated financial stability. Popularized in movies and magazine spreads, the two-tone Datejust came to define the yuppie aesthetic, serving as a glittering reminder of American corporate ambition. The Armani power suit fundamentally changed fashion in the 1980s, becoming the ultimate armor for the corporate elite. Italian designer Giorgio Armani stripped away the stiff padding of traditional tailoring, introducing a more relaxed silhouette that still commanded absolute authority. These suits were crafted from luxurious, lightweight fabrics and featured broad shoulders that projected strength and confidence. A genuine Armani suit could easily cost upwards of $1,500, making it an exclusive garment reserved for wealthy executives and celebrities. The style gained massive cultural traction after Richard Gere wore Armani in American Gigolo, and later became the signature look on Miami Vice. Wearing an Armani power suit meant you had arrived at the top of the corporate ladder, effortlessly blending European sophistication with aggressive capitalism. The installed car phone was a luxurious automotive accessory that turned a daily commute into a mobile executive office. While the portable brick phone could be carried by hand, the traditional car phone was permanently wired into the vehicle, complete with a handset mounted to the center console. Having one installed often cost over $2,000, plus astronomical per-minute calling rates that could result in massive monthly bills. Only top-tier executives, wealthy business owners, and elite physicians could justify the expense of taking calls while stuck in highway traffic. It was such a potent status symbol that some people actually installed fake cellular antennas on their cars just to create the illusion of wealth. Dialing a client from the interstate was the ultimate power move. The Porsche 911 Turbo was the undisputed dream car of the 1980s financial elite. With its dramatically flared rear fenders, massive whale tail spoiler, and aggressive stance, it looked incredibly fast even when parked in a country club driveway. Priced at over $40,000, which was an astronomical sum at the time, it was the vehicle of choice for successful Wall Street traders and young executives. The car was notorious for its challenging handling and explosive turbo lag, earning it the nickname of the Widowmaker among driving enthusiasts. Despite its quirks, nothing commanded respect on the road quite like this German sports car. Tossing the keys to the valet meant you had truly conquered the high-stakes financial boom of the 1980s. So, if you could bring back one of these classic luxury items, which would it be? Drop a comment down below to tell us your favorite piece of 1980s nostalgia.